Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome into Bleav Me right here on Stadium. My name is Cam Rogers. We've got Brandon Lang of BrandonLang.com, and my favorite tight end ever is back, Clay Harbor. Hello, gentlemen. The band is back.
The band is back together. It's like when Jordan came back. Pippen wasn't the same without Jordan. B. Lang just wasn't the same without me. So it's good to be back, fellas.
Oh boy, Jesus. Good to see you, big fella. NBA Finals underway. Who can figure it out? Denver no shows in the fourth quarter of game one, still covers. Denver no shows in the fourth quarter of game two, loses. And then Jamal Murray and Jokic just went off. First time in NBA history, two guys have gotten a triple-double in an NBA final game. It was absolutely epic. And here's the thing that frustrates me is these NBA players are playing in the NBA Finals, and Jimmy Butler says after the game, we just have to come out with more energy. I don't get it. It's the NBA Finals. It's game 3 at home. You have a chance to go up 2-1, take control, and you're going to use the excuse that we didn't come out with more energy. It's basically his way of saying, listen, they dominated us. I didn't play well. I would have had more respect for Jimmy Butler if he came out and said, listen, I didn't play well. I didn't put my team on my back, and I've got to do a better job of getting my team up and getting my team ready to roll. And that's my knock on Jimmy Butler, is he never takes ownership. He says, Jimmy, you went for over 50 in the playoffs so far. You've taken this team on your back. This was a game where you needed to come out and take control from the beginning, and you didn't because you sucked. That's it. But he always says, well, we have to come out with more energy. Jimmy, you're the leader of this team. Michael Jordan never came out and said, well, we got to do better as a team. Michael Jordan always came out and said, listen, I got to be better. Now, he didn't have to say that very often, but if he did, Mike took ownership of it, and that's why he's the GOAT. But they're up 2-1, and for all intents and purposes, the series is over because any chance Miami had, they had to go up 2-1.
Yeah.
All right, hold on to the hot takes, gentlemen. We'll get to the NBA Finals here in a matter of moments. But, guys, I want to talk about what probably is the sports story of the golfing industry ever. LIV Golf, PGA Tour have agreed to merge together and create one golf entity. This is a year removed from Jay Monahan consistently roasting the Saudis, roasting LIV Golf, etc., invoking 9/11, gentlemen, to create a stance that, hey, the PGA Tour is the place to be. Brandon, we're going to start with you here. Your thoughts when the news went down and where we are at with golf.
Listen, as much as I can't stand Tiger Woods, as much as I think Tiger Woods is a despicable human being and his character is arguably one of the worst I've ever seen in my life, I still watched a lot of golf when Tiger played. Everybody always says, admire Tiger the golfer, do not admire Tiger the person. And that's probably the best way you can put it. Now that he's really off the tour, this means nothing to me. For golf fans, it might, but now the money is so significant. Like you almost get bored of watching these guys play for purses where the winner gets $4 million. Like it's boring to me now. It really is. And now with this merger, these purses are only going to be bigger. Now these guys, the winner's going to be getting $5 million. What do I care if some guy who's wearing Callaway pants and a polo shirt who's 25 pounds overweight picks up $5 million at the Greater Greensboro Open merged with the Saudis who are coming to the USA? For me, great for your diehard golf fans. But for the general fan, it means nothing. The rich got richer. That's basically all. Is Monahan a hypocrite? Yeah, he even said it.
Yeah.
He even admitted it to it in the players only meeting when he told them they were merging. Somebody called him a hypocrite. He took it because that's exactly what he is. But money talks, and especially in the golf business, money talks. It's going to be insane the amount of money that these guys are going to be making with this merger. You're going to have guys playing for $8 million. It's insane how much money that these guys are going to be playing for. So I didn't really watch the PGA Tour. I'll watch majors. I'll watch US Open, Masters, British Open. But a weekly event, ask me how many LIV Tour events I watched. 0. Ask me how many tour events I have. Jordan Spieth playing maybe, but I'll watch the majors and that's it. So for me, it means nothing because they're not really playing for titles. Having been out on tour with Ted Shreva and watched how money motivates them. All these guys care about is money and titles, and that's it.
Clay, money does talk, man. I mean, think about it from a player perspective here, okay? Your commissioner tells you don't go to the competitive league against the NFL, don't do it. And then a year later, your commissioner says, oh, actually, I cashed out. We're going to be partners with that league that I told you not to go to. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, say he's talking with the CFL and he's talking bad. Goodell is saying we'll never go to the CFL. They don't stand for what I believe in, what I believe this organization believes in. Takes me back to water. But I am not a crook. And it turns out you are a crook. You ended up doing it anyways. For me as an athlete, I personally would have issue with it. Am I not going to play? No. Am I not going to play up to my ability? No. Is it going to stop anything that I do? Am I getting paid more at the end of the day? Most yes. Okay, so these guys might have an issue with the fact that morally there were some things that were said invoking the 9/11, as you stated, Cam, and a lot of those issues. But I think at the end of the day, when those checks start rolling in and they're bigger than ever, I'm gonna talk. I don't have kids yet, but instead of telling my kids to go play NFL football, now I'm telling them to pick up a golf club because that's where the money's going to be after this. So
Yeah.
I think once the checks start rolling in, the players are going to forget about all the issues, and that's going to solve a lot of the problems that the players have right now with the side speak coming from him.
Yeah, I think a year from now, guys, this is going to be a non-story because when the checks roll in, it's not going to matter. And the fans don't care either, really, Brandon. So, in that vein, let's move it along. We'll talk about the NBA Finals now. Okay, Nuggets up 2-1 as we stand. Game 4, the spread is out, guys. Heat are 3.5 home underdogs for tonight's matchup. Brandon, have the Heat showed you anything at all that they can hang around with the Nuggets and make this a series? Or, as you alluded to earlier, is it really over?
It's over. Any chance that they had to win this. You just stole game 2 on the road. You're coming back home. You have the home crowd. You've been dynamite at home in the entire playoffs. If you go up 2-1, you have a shot.
Yep.
You have to play as if your mother's being held hostage by Al Qaeda. And if you don't play with 100% intensity for 48 minutes, she dies. And Miami didn't do that in game 3. They didn't do that at all. After the first quarter tied 24-24, the second and third quarters, they got pounded, got outscored by, I think, 5 in the second, 9 in the third, down 14, heading to the fourth, game over. And you can't do that. You can't come home after winning game 2. Game 3 is a must-win to stay in the series. Now you're saying that Miami's going to win 2 of the next 4. It's not going to happen, guys. And you saw it last night. If Jimmy Butler doesn't go for 30 plus, they have no shot. And with Gordon on him, who's 6'9", that's becoming a problem. And Butler's struggling. He's not had a guy in the playoffs so far who's that big guarding him. And that's been the difference. Jokic is going to get his. Jamal Murray is going to get his. Nothing you can do to stop those two. Best duo in the NBA, as you saw last night, both getting a triple-double. It's Gordon's defense on Jimmy Butler that's been the difference in this series so far.
Clay, I want to give you a moment to sort of reflect on what we've seen so far in the NBA Finals, and then any value at all with the Heat plus 3.5?
No, yesterday I didn't bet. I was busy working, but I would have taken out the mortgage on my house. I would have put everything on that spread, saying the Nuggets were going to win that game. I might do the same thing this week. I mean, I think the Nuggets plus 3.5. I don't know, Bleav, how you feel about it, but I mean, I feel like that's a home run. I think you got to take that.
They're laying 3.5.
Minus 3.5 for the
minus
Nuggets.
3.5. I'm sorry. I'm saying minus 3.5. I
But
still think.
You still lay the wood saying it's a blowout.
I think it's a 10+ game. I think I'm hammering them. But I mean, you're seeing obviously the Cinderella run. I love this story. 9 undrafted players in the Miami Heat. 9, 5 guys in the rotation undrafted. That just shows you what kind of a leader, a president Pat Riley is, picking these guys up off the scrap heap. These guys are G leaguers. Did anybody know who Gabe Vincent or Max Strauss was before these NBA playoffs? No, I think it's impressive what the Heat have done. I think making it here was very impressive. Jimmy Butler has shown he is a guy that is a superstar, but he's not a big enough superstar to carry him over this loaded team. Nikola Jokic is the best player in NBA, and I think he is approaching historic proportions with what he's done. He's doing some things that I don't think I've seen in my entire life. And it's funny, it looks like this dude's got a dad bod, B Lang. He ain't hitting the gym like us. You look at this
No,
dude, he looks like, I mean, I know he's tall, but if this dude looks like he's just a tall accountant. Okay,
Dad
this
bods
guy's
are
the
in.
best player in the world. Jamal Murray, as Steve Kerr said, he is the head of the snake. Michael Porter Jr. came back a little bit better yesterday. I mean, he's been disappearing, but it's just those two guys, Jamal Murray and Jokic. You can't beat those two guys. I love Gordon. Aaron Gordon, like you said, athletic. There's not many guys that can do what he can do athletically. Remember him back in the dunk contest, jumping over cars, jumping over people. I mean, the guy's a freak athlete. I mean, makes me think of myself back when the NBA NFL Combine, when I had a 41-inch vertical beeline, 10-5 broad jump, 31 reps at 225, I might add. But they don't have a chance. The Heat had a heck of a run. Pat Riley, I'll take the hat off for you the rest of the day because the proverbial hat's off to you to get there. But it's over. If you wanted to win this thing, you had to take it yesterday.
Yep.
If Jokic ever got in Wilt Chamberlain type shape, it would be over. Really,
League over.
He looks like his dad runs a bakery. He's worked in the back and that's it. And the guy missed a meal since Christ came back 2,000 years ago. So it's amazing what he's doing, averaging a triple-double. I mean, Wilt did the same thing. Wilt was a walking triple-double as well, but I don't think Wilt was as good a passer as Jokic is. And
Passing, the rebounding, the scoring. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, 8 triple-doubles, guys, in 11 postseason games for Nikola Jokic. I mean, it's just wild. So I guess this segment will be quick. NBA Finals MVP odds. I mean, the numbers now are just silly unless you want to go with Butler at 7-1, but Jokic is minus 800, Jamal Murray plus 900, Bam is 18-1, Gabe Vincent 66-1. Clay, is there a play here for you? What if you think maybe Miami comes back? Jimmy Butler is plus 700.
There's no play unless you want to just, I mean, you want to, overload it, hammer it just to make a little bit of cash. I think it's going to be Jokic. I think you can take that to the bank. They're going to win. Jokic's going to be the MVP. I mean, if you want to just make some easy, quick money with I don't even think it's much of a risk at this point. I say you just hammer it down, put the bank account in on Jokic, and just pray that something crazy don't happen and Jokic goes down. Because in my opinion, if he don't get hurt, that's the only way that he ain't going to win it. If Jokic don't roll an ankle and miss the rest of the series, I'm going to take out some cash and I'm going to throw it on Jokic because he's going to win the MVP and they're going to win the finals.
It's 8,000 to win 1,000. Is it really 16,000 to win 2,000? 32,000
minus 800. Sorry.
I mean, is it that worth it? I mean, like you said, guy sprains his ankle. You sit there and say, oops. It's like laying a 12.5 point favorite on the money line minus 950. They lose out.
You can't do it, right?
If he sprains his ankle, you're going to be sitting there in
just saying, you never know with those kind of odds. Yes, he's the runaway. And you got a better chance of seeing God come behind Clay right now with 4 strippers, a kilo of coke, and Ed McMahon than the Heat coming back in this series. And literally, nobody's walking up behind Clay right now. So it's over. Jokic probably wins the MVP, and now it's just a matter of when, where, and why.
Well, for what it's worth, historically speaking, teams who win Game 3 end up winning the series 80% of the time. So Nikola Jokic minus 800, rightfully so, NBA Finals MVP. Let's pivot to the NFL. Clay, you haven't been here for a couple of weeks, but we are diving into over-under team win totals. And we're going to start alphabetically here at the top. Arizona Cardinals. This team is a train wreck, guys.
Yuck.
Over-under is 4.5 wins.
Oh, wow.
They re-signed Kelvin Beachum. They re-signed Will Hernandez on the offensive line. They signed Kaiser White at linebacker to a 2-year deal. But all of that is moot, honestly, because we've got just a new head coach, some headlines off the field that really aren't that great. Clay, we'll start with you on this one. Over or under 4.5 wins?
I'm gonna go under, man. I mean, I don't think Kyler Murray's got anybody to throw the ball to. He's running around there. I mean, he can't see over the line. I know they drafted Paris Johnson for him. Might help the line a little bit, but DeAndre Hopkins gone. The only guy he had any continuity with when he was playing last year was DeAndre Hopkins. He's gone. The offense isn't there. The defense really isn't there. I think this team, they're worse than my Chicago Bears were last year. I'm going to take the under. I really don't see a path to where they win 5 games. They're going to be they're going to be the worst team in the NFL this year. But I think historically speaking, in the last few years, they're going to be down near the bottom of that. I know B. Lang's a big Gannon fan, and he has a Jonathan Gannon poster in his place over there that he says, it's a little shrine. He says thank you to every night before he goes to sleep. But I don't think Gannon is the mind that's going to be able to control this runaway train. Is going the wrong direction, especially with Murray coming off an injury. Under.
Brandon, could you imagine this team being the worst in the NFL considering the amount of money that's going to the quarterback position?
This is going to turn out to be one of the worst hires in NFL history. It just is. How do you as an owner, and your GM already left. Your GM said, this is bad here. This is really bad. I'm out of here like a fat girl in dodgeball. I'm gone. See ya. Don't even come back around. So your GM leaves. That tells you right now there's something rotten in Denmark. So then now the owner goes out and hires arguably the worst defensive coordinator in NFL history. So you're sitting there watching the Super Bowl and you're watching the Philadelphia Eagles defense in the second half, and you're like, oh my God, he lost the game. But wait, this is my guy. This is the guy I want to hire and put in charge of my football team. As much as I think they can get over 4.5, as long as this guy's walking the sideline, I can't root for the Arizona Cardinals. And I assure you, I will not watch an Arizona Cardinal game all year long. If I bet, I'll bet against them all year. I guarantee you, write this down right now. I guarantee you, if you bet against the Arizona Cardinals all year long, I guarantee you they finish 5-12 against the spread.
Yeah.
In fairness, B. Lang, in fairness to my man Jonathan Gannon, this Gannon slander that you're giving me right here, his defense was one of the best in the league. He led the league in sacks. They had 58 sacks last year. This was one of the highest number in the NFL. They were best against the yards. They had the most interceptions. This was a pretty solid defense last year. Obviously, they had players, but in fairness to
a lot
him,
of players.
Yeah, but still.
Okay. I didn't listen when people told me at Super Bowl Radio Row in Arizona before I picked the game. Everybody kept telling me Philadelphia's defense hasn't really played anyone all year. And I just kind of turned a deaf ear to it. It's easy to, and Clay, you played in the NFL. It's easy to be a great defense and look like you're a great defense when you don't face prolific offenses consistently all year long. So when you get to the Super Bowl and you're facing a Chiefs offense, you get exposed and exploited because you didn't play anybody like that all year long. We all bought into the hype. Now, with all that being said, should Philadelphia have won the Super Bowl? Absolutely. The performance Jalen Hurts put up was of MVP caliber of any Super Bowl, maybe going back to Doug Williams. But because up 14-7, because of the false start on 3rd and 1, and on the 3rd and 6 fumble return for a touchdown to give the free 7 points in the second quarter, I turned to my boys and I said, we just lost this game because you can't give KC a free 7 points. So with all that being said, he was protected. Gannon was protected, and he can't be protected as a head coach. He got exposed in the Super Bowl, and he's going to get exposed big time. So they're in trouble. I'm going to go under 4.5, and you watch them go 5-12 against the spread.
Under it is for the Arizona Cardinals. I like it. Let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Over-under is at 8.5. The juice is on the under, -125, over -105. You got Bud Dupree, Calais Campbell. You sign Mike Hughes. You trade for Jeff Okudah in the secondary there. You draft Bijan Robinson. You sign Taylor Heineke. We'll see what Desmond Ridder becomes at the quarterback position. Let's start with you, Brandon. Over or under 8.5 for the Falcons?
This team came out of the box last year in Arthur Smith's first year and covered their first 6 games. They're a cash cow. Then they hit a little lull. I'm a big believer in Arthur Smith. I am. And I think they get to 9 wins. They were talented last year, lost a lot of games in the fourth quarter. 9 wins to get to 9-8. That's a distinct possibility. Again, Arthur Smith, what he does offensively, the mobility of Ritter. I'm going to go over 9. I think Atlanta gets there. I really do.
I like their talent as well. Clay?
I know they're in a tough division. I'm obviously kidding, but the division is weak. But still, you got Desmond Ritter, Heineke as your quarterback. Come on now, that's all you need to know. I love Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I think you got some athletes there. Calais Campbell. You bring in a couple of guys, but still, realistically, I don't think this Falcons team is going to win 9. I mean, I'm looking more like 6 games with Desmond Ritter at the quarterback
Wow.
position. I know he came on strong the end of last year. He turned a couple heads those last couple games, but I'm saying 6 games, 7 if they're lucky. I'm hammering the under on the Falcons.
Damn.
I'm going with this man. I'm going with Brandon. I like the over. I think 9 is the minimum, Clay. You look at their schedule, it's pretty soft. So certainly a testament to the team and the talent, but the schedule is kind of bad too. So give me the Falcons on the over there. Couple of minutes left, guys. Let's talk about my Baltimore Ravens. Over under 10.5 here. The under's the juice, -125. You've got Nelson Aguilar. You got OBJ, some weapons for Lamar. Zay Flowers out of the draft. Lamar's happy. He's got the contract. Clay, over or under there, 10.5?
I'm going to go over. Lamar's always been a great regular season quarterback. He's refreshed. He's got OBJ, Zay Flowers, obviously. We've talked about that. He's got some guys to throw the ball to. And I'm a tight end. Mark Andrews is top 3 tight end in this league. I love him. And pairing him with some receivers that are going to create some space over the middle. He might have a historic year. With Lamar coming back, happy and paid. They're going to be great during the regular season, but Lamar's got to show me he can win in the playoffs. I'm taking the over.
Brandon?
You're asking me if they can get to 12 wins.
10 isn't 10.5, right?
10.5? What is it again?
Yep, 10.5.
10.5,
Okay.
11 wins.
Can they get to 11 wins? Yeah, they can. They're going to have to beat Cleveland twice. They're going to split with Cincinnati. They'll probably split with Pittsburgh just because those games are just a slugfest. So that's in your division. I don't know where they're going, which division they're playing this year outside their division. But I agree with Clay. Lamar, contract holdout, got the big money, the weapons they've added. Harbaugh's always been a great regular season head coach. I'm going to roll with over. I think
Roquan Smith, too. I like him, former Bear. He's going to be a staple at defense. When he showed up, that defense was playing a little bit better. They're going to bring that Baltimore Raven defense back. So I think overall as a team, I'm taking the over.
Love it, guys. I'm on the over as well with the Baltimore Ravens. All right, very quickly, Buffalo Bills over or under 10.5 wins. Brandon?
Weak AFC East. They're going to get over the total. I'm not a believer in Miami. Jets, I'm a believer in. New England Patriots, I'm not a believer in. I believe Buffalo can get to 12-5. So I'm all over Buffalo over.
Is 11.5?
Yep. 10.5.
10.5. Yeah, I'm gonna take 11 wins, but I don't think that's an easy division. I think the Jets are for real. I think before Tua got hurt, he could play too. I'm in a tough division, but I'm still taking Buffalo. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. I mean, they got some players there, and you're gonna have a healthy Von Miller back. And they're still signing players right now. Obviously, you see the defense isn't a finished product. I like where they're at. I think they're over.
Love it. I'm on the over as well. Buffalo Bills, this has been Bleav Me right here on Stadium TV for Brandon Lang and Clay Harbor. My name is Cam Rogers. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. We will talk to you next week.